and they begin to laugh and say, what? What?
Did you expect that?
No. Hello, folks. Welcome to Multimedia. Today, I'm privileged to have Mr. and Mrs. Corte on our show. We are going to deliberate on issues concerning marriages. We're having so many marriages going wayward, especially the immigrants. What has been the cause? How do we tackle this issue? Let's all pay attention and discuss this issue and see whether we can have a resolution to this problem. Let me introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Corte once again.
Hello, Amos.
Hello. How are you?
I'm
Great.
You doing well?
Yes.
Thank you very much for giving me the privilege to come to your house and then have this conversation with you concerning marriages that are not working well, especially with the immigrants. Let me start first and foremost from Mrs. Corte. I'll give us a brief introduction of yourself.
Of myself?
Yes.
My name is Sandra. I live in Humboldt with my husband and we have two daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Paige is 20 and Sierra is 17.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on a farm in rural Saskatchewan called St. Brew. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I was the boy of the family. We had only girls and I did outside work.
Oh.
So I like to be outside and graduated high school and started work in the credit union.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for many years, and in about 5 years ago, Michael and I built our dream home. So here we are living in our...
It's so beautiful. Very
so
beautiful
much.
here. And maybe this is going to be my dream house as well.
Okay.
I'll build a house like this, and maybe I need to work extra hard to be able to afford this. And then that is a brief introduction of Mrs. Corte. Now, let's move to Mr. Corte. Let's Mr. Corte also introduce himself and how he's been able to raise such a beautiful family and build such a beautiful house. And then let's listen to him what he has for us.
I was born in the 60s, in 66. My father was, he grew up on a farm, but he supported our family as a grain buyer in Saskatchewan here. Mm-hmm. So we did a little traveling through smaller communities in Saskatchewan, and through him and through my mother's family, I learned to work on farms. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is I was instilled with a good work ethic. I always believed that, if you worked hard at anything, you're going to succeed. I didn't know how far you'd go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I grew up around this area mostly for most of my life in the Humboldt, Munster area. I don't know what I could say. I attended high school in a rural community. I came and I worked in a retail industry for 20 years. That didn't work out so good, so into the pork industry, where I met Amos years ago. Mm-hmm. There I attained, or the ability or opportunity, I should say, to become an electrician, so I got into the trades. And along with that, I guess in the hard work, we were able to do the things that we wanted to and the dreams that we have, like Sandra mentioned about our home. That's all I got to say, I guess.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a brief introduction, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much for this brief introduction. And then, as I've already mentioned, this program is just to educate, entertain on the social media. Listening to their introduction, I have learned something. Look at Mrs. Corte. This is an education to us that it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, if you persevere, you will get out there. Today's topic is going to be centered on marriage issues. So much issues surrounding marriages these days. Divorce rate is high.
Yeah.
I've known you for quite a while, at least over a decade.
Yes.
And then watching your relationship from afar and from close, you are an inspiration to some of us. And that is the reason why we have come close today to find out what is your secret. What has been your secret?
I think talking and working things out. I mean, we didn't always agree on things. We definitely came from two different lives. Similar in some ways, but also traditionally, my parents were still of some of that where there was jobs for men and jobs for women. We did see that when we were growing up, but something I think growing up in North America, or where I lived anyways, our generation seemed to see a difference. Like, girls weren't just relegating themselves to traditional jobs that girls would have. They had aspirations and dreams. So growing up for me, I saw that there should be equality, but you still grow up with different things. So I know with Sandra and I in our marriage, there's things, I mean, because she would tell me, I wasn't always doing, I thought I was doing enough, but obviously there was more things I could be doing. So I think talking, conversation, I think you would agree.
Yeah. And when we got married, we were a little bit older, and we knew once we decided we were getting married that divorce was not an option. So we are staying in this relationship, whatever it is, and it's okay to not always agree, but you still have to come to a consensus. So you don't always get your way, and that's okay, but you have to be able to be fair with each other and listen and understand, because he's not me and I'm not him. Everybody's different, and so you have to listen to what the other person is telling you. You can't just, oh, I think this is best. Well, actually, no, I think we need you to do this, or we need help with that.
2 years, 1 month.
Oh,
You've said that.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God
So
gave
we
us-
should be doing more listening than we should do this. And it takes a bit too. I'm not really good at it all the time.
And how many years have you been married?
22
22 years it was in June.
in June, yeah. 22 years.
22 years.
It's gone fast.
But you know, per the statement that you made, that you know, if you didn't tell me that you have maybe one way or the other argued before, I would never assume that you have even argued for a second.
Oh, yeah. That's,
Amos, we built a house. Now
Yeah.
that was, oh my.
I don't believe in life that nobody has disagreements. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what it looks like on it. People comment on us and we just go, like when you said, you know, your marriage is, it's not all roses and it's not always the,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the greatest thing. No, you definitely work things out. There's struggles and
But we always knew we're going to be together. So
Yeah.
even if we argue, it's okay, because we know that we're going to be together.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere, and neither is he. So
That is the monolith. We will solve problems.
Right.
We will resolve problems and then still stay in the relationship.
yes,
and I think we find ways to find shared interests.
yes, that's important
Yeah.
to do things together.
We do that, and that's goals. Like currently in our situation, our goals, we want to travel. We'd like
You want to travel, yeah.
Yeah, we've only begun at it probably 3-4
Yeah.
years ago. It's just starting.
Yeah.
So of course we'd love to do that years ago, but I mean, financial situations, etc., don't leave you the opportunity. Now where we are, our children are almost all grown.
Yeah. Yeah, our priority was
But
our kids.
we've had that in our mind, just like this house. It's a collaboration of 18 years of paper clippings, going to show homes for the sake of seeing them, an interest that we shared. And I don't know, we weren't sure if we'd ever see it to fruition, but
it was always our dream.
It was.
We always had that dream.
So common things help
Whoa.
to survive.
This is interesting to get to know. Like, so prior to the two of you coming together, comparing the sort of happiness that you are enjoying in your relationship to, when you were single, which one would you prefer? When you were single, and
This has been
this is the best.
100%.
This has direction, this has companionship, shared life. When you're single, I mean, it was fun, but there was a point, I remember, toward those later 20s, and I was like, there's something more, there's got to be something more to this, because it wasn't, you have no direction. Sure, I could have a purpose, I want to succeed at things, but I never really had a direction, what I wanted to achieve. I think that's how it went for me.
You see, behind every successful man, there is a strong, a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
That is the reason why you have to look for. If you are single, begin to think about this. If you are planning to leave your relationship, begin. Yeah, so when you met him for the very first time, what was your reaction?
Initially, I remember standing at my door and everyone came in and this beautiful man was standing in front of me and I thought, oh my God.
Every woman would have been,
He is very handsome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I put my hand out, hi, nice to meet you. And he's just such a nice person. He was quiet. And initially though, I was like, oh, I like him.
Mr. Corte, the very first time that you saw your wife.
Pretty lady.
For sure.
Surprised.
Yeah, a surprise. But did you have that mentality? Like immediately you saw her, did something prick you that this woman could be my better half or something?
I think something did. I think more after that weekend. We definitely, kept in touch and were talking. It was my visits after. I would ride my motorcycle to Calgary and come for the weekends, and I think it was more the talking, the walks and the talks, and we spent a lot of time doing that. And I realized this is a very special person.
For sure.
Yeah, with similar, I guess, aspirations and things, I guess. That was a long time ago.
And then has it ever, for some reason, crossed your mind that, I am fed up in this relationship, especially women, because you are the ones that, sometimes, men are a little bit tougher when it comes to stuff like that. But.
There are times that we've had our struggles, and I remember feeling it's going to be a long life. But we promised each other on our wedding that we would be together, and so never that I would ever get a divorce. But sometimes I felt like, I hope we can get along, but sometimes I felt like maybe we wouldn't always. But I still knew that I wasn't going anywhere.
And then, Mr. Corte, has it ever crossed your mind that, I'm too tired about relationship, marriage, or so?
There would be times where you think, much like Sandra said, like, boy, this is going to be a long trip. And just because of our short thinking is, at the moment, can't seem to resolve something, we're upset with each other, or, not even understanding why we're upset. But, there'd be times where you're like, oh man, how are we going to work through this? And if we can't, this is going to be a long road trip.
However,
but not divorce, not separate. It's to me that's too easy. People look at it too easy nowadays. This is the reason why we're having this conversation.
Sometimes it's harder to stay than
Oh,
to go.
gosh.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I mean, I think our culture and our media and our shows through the years have all portrayed this. I don't know what they portrayed relationships like, but I think people think it's, and maybe now they still think it's I'll just get a divorce and I'll go on somewhere else.
it's too hard.
But yeah, without thinking
Yeah.
that wherever you are going, it could be worse
It
than.
could be worse.
So like the term grass is greener always on the other side, but when you get there, it usually isn't anyways.
Yes.
So I think people don't, well, maybe you should think about that too, but if they understand that every relationship is not a smooth road, it's not always a smooth road, for sure not. I think it gets better and it gets
Oh, yes,
easier
yes.
as time goes. If we're listening to each other, and if you really care about the person, you're going to try to change, or you're going to try to make it better. And I think we've succeeded at doing that. And I know it wasn't always easy. I mean, it's a struggle. Sometimes it's a struggle. It's and yeah, you sometimes you might feel the pressure. It's like, oh, this is not going to work. But you still don't go. I'm just gonna no. I'm done.
The way people outside see your relationship, it's like you look too good to even conceive such an idea. Like it's so, we see it outside so perfect, like it's, and you've done a good job, seriously, for the two of you and the way you have raised your kids, and it's a lesson to us.
Yeah.
Right? I have made it a priority. When I go to work and it's like I close at 5:30, my mindset, everything is about home, my family.
Yeah. I was just thinking of a comment there. You have to find a way. I mean, even in your busy life, you have to find a way to make sure you're spending time. We want our children to see a relationship,
Yes.
so that they can see what a relationship should be like for them.
Right.
So
they grow up and have a good relationship.
if they see us, whatever, snuggling or on the sofa or holding hands, that's okay. Like, we want them to see that. I think it's important for kids, because how do they judge their partner, their future partner, if they don't have anything to compare it to?
What has been your worst moment in the marriage? The worst moment you think, oh, this is so much, like, oh, as for this, Mike told me this, and then, oh, okay, I'll go to my mom, like women usually do.
Yeah, I never went to my mom. Oh man,
You don't have one?
It was tough.
Yes,
when
I know.
was away, Sandra.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, when Michael worked
I know you-
away, he would be gone for 6 months, Monday to Thursday. And then he'd come home on the weekends, and I found it really difficult. I found it difficult when he was gone, but I also found it difficult when he came home. Because while he was gone, then the girls and I had a routine. When he came home on the weekend, he disrupted our whole routine. And then I kind of resented him for being gone all the time, and then I wasn't happy with him when he was home, because he would let them stay up and mess up our routines, and then it made more work for me.
And frustrating a bit too.
Yeah, and so I was
Remember,
frustrated.
I didn't sign up to be a single parent.
Right, and I was very upset, and I did say, we had children to raise them together. I didn't sign up to be a single parent, and I felt like a single parent. So, I mean, financially for our family, that's what we decided, but that was the most difficult, was being by myself with the girls.
And I think that this one I can answer it for him. It could also be the worst challenge of your life.
It
right?
was hard because it was through phone calls, so talking on a phone, I couldn't help.
Yeah.
And those are the difficult times. You'd be sitting there 4 hours away, and you know you can't do anything about it. And I want to help, but yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
And I understood what she meant, because I couldn't imagine. She was taking care of everything else.
And working full time.
And working.
Especially raising kids.
Yeah.
Raising kids.
Yeah.
You at one time, when the girls were you were working, There one time she did quit working. She felt, what was the word when you were away from the girls? You didn't feel like you should be working.
Yeah, I just felt, I don't know, guilty about not being with the girls, and I felt like that's where I needed to be, was home. So.
And we talked about it, and we agreed we could try it. Like financially, we weren't sure, but we decided we would do that. That'd be best for the kids, and that's where I went away. I was away, but yeah, that was tough times.
So, Mr. Corte, what would be your advice to any male, any man that would like to enter into a relationship, right? Be it prepared or unprepared. Like, what would be your advice?
I think we have to listen. None of us, all of us are good listeners. I'm still learning to listen.
To be a good listener.
Yeah, because you need to listen more than we talk, and I'm not always good at it. That would be important in a relationship for sure.
And what about you, Mr. Corte? Your best advice to any woman that is preparing or thinking of getting married?
Be honest with yourself. If you don't like something that someone's doing, be prepared that they might not change that just because you're married to them. You have to be okay with the person that they are. You're not going to change them. So if it doesn't feel right before you're married, it's not going to get better after. So it's best to know what you want. Take care of yourself. Know that you're good on your own. That's one thing I learned from my parents, is know that you can manage on your own. You don't need someone else. And then once you know you can take care of yourself, welcome someone else into your life and then work together.
I agree with that advice. Sorry. I think you have to know who you are first before you take on a partner in a relationship. And I think that's your first step. Because if you're still trying to figure that out, that's going to make things really tough, especially at the beginning of that relationship.
Yeah.
If you were to be given the opportunity to advise immigrants, because to me, I see, when they come to Canada, initially, change of culture, change of everything that we have to adjust to. And then some of them might have established pretty well back home before they moved into Canada, because they didn't know much about what they're going to be facing. Some of them, doctors and stuff, when you come here, you have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
So the lifestyle that you used to live in where you came from is not going to be the same as what they kind of see here. You have to go through a process. And then that is when the frustration sets in. And it doesn't augur well with their relationships. If you are to give an advice to anyone that just migrated to Canada, what would you say?
Well, it'd be like maybe an extreme version of having a new relationship with a new person. I think you should talk about it. Talk about what you're going to be, you think you might be experiencing or you're going to experience, and what's going to happen if it's not like what we think it is, or if it's not going to work out. I think you'd want to talk to your partner, and even if those things don't come into fruition or they don't become real, at least you prepared yourself a little bit. Because if you're going into it expecting it's going to be hard, I think it'll be easier, if you could say it that way. What do you think?
Well, I would say be open-minded. Learn English. I think it's really important because it's difficult for immigrants, but it's also difficult sometimes for us because we don't know how to communicate either, right? So I don't know your language, so I'm not maybe as friendly because I don't know how to talk to you. So I think learning English would be very important, and help, if like for Canadians, help somebody?
I guess if you're as a relationship or you're talking about people that are coming here in a relationship or married.
Yep.
Yeah.
Married, and then when they get here, they get frustrated about everything because maybe some of them back home they had servants, they have like house helps, and they when you come to Canada you can't even afford to. You arrive here, it doesn't matter how much you brought. If you don't take care, you're going to run out of money. So you and then you can't afford it to have a house help over here.
Oh, for sure.
24/7, you can't afford it.
No.
And that is
Nobody has servants here.
No,
Nobody has that.
Yeah, but even in Ghana, manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would.
Some have house helps, have house boys, and
they're coming. That's a shock. Yeah.
So maybe research maybe the lifestyle before you come, and if you know some Canadians,
that
ask
come from Ghana.
them like, what is it like? And you would be a wonderful resource to say, don't think you're getting house help. You are not. It costs money to live here. Yeah.
They don't have traveling experience and stuff, but like, I didn't understand it until I came to Canada, and I realized, you need a traveling experience to really, because
I can only imagine, like, that must have been difficult. I remember the first time we were even having food, remember, in Oklahoma, and I know you were confused by the menu, so I asked you, I said, what do you like to eat? And you said chicken and rice. So remember, I don't know if you remember.
That is all we knew.
We ordered
chicken and rice.
And we ordered the chicken and rice, but when we got it, like we serve here, our chicken was a chicken breast.
No.
Yep.
And I remember you guys looked confused.
Oh, for sure. Like we didn't chicken breast. Okay, come on.
So you took
all the bones away?
Yes.
Come on, bring it down.
I want the bones too.
So I can't imagine it must, but I think to prepare yourself, I guess like Sandra said, would be research. Talk to people that are here, and be prepared, like as a couple, that you're going to go through. Well, I would imagine would be tough times, or if you're expecting at least the worst, it probably won't be so bad. Is that the right thing to say? Like if you're
expecting it to be difficult, and it is, then you're not disappointed.
Majority of the people, we think that when you go to Canada, Canada is one of the best countries, enviable. Even when you are in Africa, you want to go to Canada. The acquisition of visa alone is something else. Like,
I remember
because they scrutinize, they make sure they get the quality of people they want to come to Canada. And I believe that is what has made Canada what it is. Look at the landmark, and look at the population in
we are a multicultural country.
Yes, we are.
And it's like so many people will choose Canada than any other countries.
When they choose Canada, they just know they're going to the best place.
To the best place.
So the
expectation is so high, and then you get here, and then you realize that the way you were thinking at home is not the way it is here. You have to go through a process.
Right.
You just don't bring your certificate over here and say, I was a doctor in Africa, so I'm coming to work over here. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
They have to assess your certification. They have to make sure you qualify for the job and your experience, right? So it takes a little bit of time. So if you have it in mind, you want to relocate to Canada with your family, it's not that easy. It's not going to be that easy. Do your research as they just relate to us. You just do your research. Ensure that if you think bringing the whole family is going to put you into so much stress, come alone, establish something, then you bring the family. That would be the best, and then you get to know the system.
I agree with that, because actually, I was just thinking what you were saying. If you have one person go ahead and establish and find out what is needed, you don't have the extra stress of trying to support 3 other people to try to get them into the same system. Yeah, that would be a big...
If you are coming to Canada, you want to relocate to Canada, or you want to migrate to Canada, you want to live in the biggest city in Canada. I'm telling you the truth. The people over there have so much to deal with. Go to the little communities first. Start from there.
I would agree
That's
with you.
good advice.
And then work your way up there. If your dream is to go live in Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, the biggest city, you'll be frustrated from day one because you join a bus, it's going to take you, especially a place like Toronto.
Oh my.
Some people travel about 2 hours to get to work,
Oh yes.
and you will be frustrated.
The stress would be, oh no, that'd be stressful.
If you are in a little community where you just jump into a vehicle or you just, somebody who can even offer you a lift, right? But
Right.
in the bigger cities, nobody has time. The time is running.
Yeah.
The person is running as well. So please, if you have families and you are relocating to Canada, my advice is one, either you come first all by yourself, settle down, make available stuff ready for your family, then your family will join you. That is what that will be my little
Yes,
advice.
because cost of living is higher in
Higher.
the cities too.
Yes.
It's cheaper to live in smaller places.
Cheaper to live in the smaller places.
Yes.
Canada is Canada. The provision of everything everywhere is the same.
Yeah.
So if you live in a bigger city,
Yeah.
you are in trouble. Like
Yes.
you don't have to pay for parking and stuff in little cities, like the smaller cities, so
Right.
much
Yes.
that you pay in the bigger cities. So everywhere you go, that is what it is. We're giving you this advice for free, no consultation.
Yeah. And be open-minded, right?
Yeah, for
be
sure.
open-minded that when you come here, this is Canada, and you said we have all the processes and everything is a process and takes time. That's why Canada is as great as we are, because we have these processes. So don't be frustrated with that. Realize that that's what makes us.
Experience with us. I think anybody that would listen to this, just take time and then digest what would benefit your relationship, and then make sure that it helps and it makes your relationship go as beautiful as we see them today. Seriously, one day I'll come to somebody's house and then the person will say, oh, I've learned so much from Mr. and Mrs. Corte's relationship, and it's helping. Go to Mozi Media and then subscribe on YouTube, and then click the notification bell so that anytime a new video is uploaded, you get a chance to watch it. And then also try and then share this video. Okay, thank you very much for listening to us. Is there any final words that you want to say to my viewers, please?
Not for me. I can't think of anything.
Thank you, and I say good
thank
luck.
you.
Thank you very much.